Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I am so blessed to be a mother of two children. I have my daughter who is 25 and my son is almost 16. And so I'm very blessed to have two wonderful children, and I pray that if you are a mother, that you are very blessed today, that that you cherish the idea and the thought of being a mother, and that you just have a wonderful day. And this morning I am going to make some biscuits and gravy. I have some milk that I need to use up real quick, and so I'm going to do that and make some homemade biscuits. So I am going to point you down here and get started on the biscuits first. I will put the recipe for the biscuits in the description box below. Anyway, I have my bowl here, and I am going to measure out 2 cups of flour. I'm just going to dip my thing here in the... Two cups of flour. Need 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Get this open here. I bought a new one not too long ago because my one was too old, getting too old. So anyway, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Now I've got my oven preheating to 425 while I'm doing this. That way when I get them done, the oven will be ready for me to put them in there. Okay, so that was 2 cups of flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And then I need 2 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, and I've got 6 tablespoons of cold butter that I have diced up just in little pieces there. And it needs to be cold, not room temperature. And then I'm just going to get in there with my hands. My hands are clean, but I'm going to get in there with my hands, and I'm going to crumble this butter up in my flour and stuff until I have small pieces, kind of like maybe pea-sized pieces inside of that flour. That will help to make your biscuits moist and flaky and buttery. And this takes a while. I don't use a pastry cutter. I think I have one someplace, but I just never use it. To me, it takes a lot less time, and your hands just work better. That's what God gave them to you for, so you could use your hands. And I think the food tastes better too. You just you can feel the love in it when you take the time to do it this way. Now, making biscuits is kind of a messy process. I have flour that I'll have to wipe off the lid of the container here, and I'll have flour on, because you'll need extra flour to dust your counter with. Anyway, I'm just about done with this. See, it didn't really take very long at all, just a short amount of time, and you can kind of see the little pieces of butter in there, and that's what you want. You don't want to crumble it up so much that you don't have any little pieces of butter, but You want to get that crumbled up. Okay, and then I need 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. Now this is homemade buttermilk. It's not as thick as your regular buttermilk. It's made from, well, I made fresh butter out of some fresh cow milk that I got recently. And so this is the buttermilk off of that. I'm not sure if I have a full 3/4 cup, but if not, I always have, I have some whey. Let me see. I'm left-handed, so it's kind of hard to, I have to turn this around in my right hand. I think I will have enough. Okay, just enough, exact amount. So, okay, and I'm gonna grab a fork. I don't want to get my hands in there too much when I mix this up, but I'm gonna grab a fork and I'm just gonna start pouring this in, and it's cold. You want everything to be cold. Okay, and you may think that you're going to have to add more liquid, but you don't. You're going to get in there with your hands and just get all that flour in there. You don't have to knead it too much or anything. Just get you where you got your dough there in a ball. And now I'm going to flour my counter just a bit. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to pour this out on the counter. Get all that good stuff off my finger, and I'm just going to form it like into a ball, kind of. Once I get all the dough together, I'm just going to start folding it, kind of. I'll need to get out my rolling pin here in a minute. And I'm just going to turn it. And I'm going to fold it in threes again. This kind of makes your layers in your biscuits. Now let me get my rolling pin out here. I wish I would have thought to get that out before I started this, because now I got messy hands. Just going to flour this rolling pin just a little bit. I don't think it really needs it because my dough's not sticky. But I'm just going to roll it out just a bit. And fold it in three a couple more times. Now you don't want to knead your dough a whole lot or anything, because that will make them tough. I'm just going to fold it and kind of roll it again. Now I'm going to roll it out into about where it's about a 1/2 inch thick. I'm gonna spread just, I'm gonna put just a little bit of grease in my, I've got my pan over here. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease in my iron pan for a minute, and then I'll be right back because I can put the biscuits in the pan then. I'll wash my hands real quick. Here, I'm gonna show you this. Once again, I'm using this Great Value brand. It's supposed to be like Dawn. This thing, I cannot get it to pour. It clogs up on the tip. I told you this in the last video. It is, oh, it makes me so mad. And I can't get it out of there very easy. I have to squeeze it to get it out of there. And it really, really aggravates me. Get a towel real quick. Now, I know this is sort of, you're looking at my trash can, this is sort of a different sort of video. I'm going to kind of aim you at the stove over here real quick and show you what I'm going to do here. I have my phone plugged into the charger, and so I can't move you across the kitchen at this moment, but anyway, I've got my cast iron skillet here, and let me go ahead and aim you down here again and turn you around. Got my cast iron skillet there, and I'm just going to put me some grease in it. It shouldn't stick anyway, but bacon grease here in this little crock that I keep in the fridge. Just gonna scoop me a little bit of that out, and I'm just gonna spread it on the bottom of my pan here. And I'm telling you, that's the best stuff right there. That's bacon grease from some smoked bacon. And set that aside. Like I said, making biscuits is kind of messy. You're going to have a little bit of a mess in here, but that's all right because they're wonderful. So, okay, I've got my dough, my batter, whatever you want to call it, about a 1/2 inch thick, and I'm gonna use maybe a fairly large, since we're having I got these Pioneer Woman things for $5 after Christmas. They're the biscuit cutters. There's several different sizes in there, and I'm going to use about the 3-inch size today. Now, when you cut biscuits, you just go straight down. You don't twist and turn, okay? Because if you twist and turn it, you're going to seal the edges, and they're not going to rise for you. And also, when you put them in the pan, you kind of want them to touch, because that helps them. They kind of climb up each other in the pan there when they're cooking, and so it makes for a higher, taller biscuit. Should get about 2 more here. Okay, now when you get to the end there, you just roll your dough back up again. And you just take your rolling pin and just roll it back out. Again, you want 1/2 inch thick. They should all be uniform size. One in the center there. I think I should have enough room to get one more in here. Gonna kind of Like I said, if they touch, that's all the better. Okay. You might have a little bit of dough left over and you can use another pan if you want to do that, but I think we're good for right now. I just made a small batch, so now I'm gonna brush the top of these with a little bit of the whey. Get my brush out. Or you could actually brush them with cream if you want to do that. I might do that. Actually, I think instead of whey, I'm going to use cream. Got myself some cream off of that fresh cow's milk that I bought. I'll show you, maybe I'll put it in this video, how I skim the cream off the top of the milk. Y'all, I am so excited about something I have, and I'm going to point you down here and show you what it is. What I've been getting from the one of the local farms around here in this jar. I have got farm fresh cow milk, and I'm telling you, I ordered a gallon of it the week before last. I brought it home. Can you see the difference? I don't know if you can see it here. Let me see if I can get you closer. I don't know if you can tell the difference. This bottom part is a lighter color, and then this top part is like a real dark creamy color. That is cream. Heavy cream on the top of this milk, because this has been unfiltered, unpasteurized. And can I just tell you that the last gallon, we've only bought one other gallon from these people. And anyway, I'm just going to skim this cream off the top because I'm going to use it in a recipe here pretty soon. And I'll share that recipe with you. But anyway, guys, this milk, I mean, you can't buy anything in the store that compares to this stuff. It is just fantastically delicious. It reminds me of the milk. Now, we didn't live on a farm or anything when I was growing up. But when I was a kid, when you would buy milk, it would expire real quick. I mean, you only bought a little bit of milk at a time, because in just a few days, the milk would expire. It would go bad. And this stuff tastes like the milk that I got when we were a kid. It is that good. And the stuff you buy nowadays, you know, because of all of the pasteurization and processing they do to it, most milk nowadays don't even have a great taste. But this is excellent. And this heavy cream, and I wish I would have taken a video of it. The cream that from the last gallon that we got, I made some homemade butter for my father-in-law. Said that he wanted some butter, homemade butter. And so I made some homemade butter for him, and my husband took it down to him this past weekend. Super easy to do and really good. So sometime I'll make a video about making butter. However, this cream is destined for a recipe that I'm going to be doing here in the near future, hopefully. So anyway, I'm just going to finish skimming the cream off of this. And if it just so happens that this little part here shows up on the video of the recipe that I do with this cream, I'll let you know. But yeah, I mean, this is some good stuff. So rich and tasty. But anyway, I'm just see how thick that is. Oh, that is so good, guys. And I'm just gonna kind of brush it on the tops of the biscuits here. Don't need a ton. think if I heard right, my oven's preheated, and so these are ready to go in. And they'll probably cook for about maybe 10 or 12 minutes. 12, maybe a little longer. So you just kind of got to check on them. Okay, now while those are baking, and like I said, you can use this dough for anything else you want to use it for. If you have any little bit left over. Probably had enough to make another biscuit, maybe even two. But my pan was a little smaller than that, so that's all right. Now I'm going to get you over here, and we're going to start making some gravy. Okay, now I'm going to get my pan started. Let me turn you up here just a little bit if I can get you up here. So, now the biscuits are in the oven. It doesn't take them all that long to cook, and I'm going to get started on my gravy. So what I'm going to use is some more of the bacon grease. I didn't have any thawed out sausage. Normally I would make sausage gravy, but I didn't have any sausage thawed out, and so we're just going to use some more of the bacon grease and some flour, and we're going to go from there. So let's get started on that. So I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons of bacon grease. Not exact measurements there, but. And I'm just going to make a basic roux with the bacon grease. My husband's so funny. He calls it a grue. I tell him all the time, it's not a grue, it's a roux. He just laughs, but that's the way he does things, and he's an excellent cook. I probably should have him in here doing this. So like I said, I got about 3 tablespoons of bacon grease, and I'm just going to let that melt and get hot there. Got my old granny gown on today. So, how are you guys celebrating Mother's Day? Do you go all out? Do you take, if you have a mother, if your mother's, my mother passed away a few years back, and I sorely miss her. She was a great influence in my life. She was a wonderful mother, very loving, very kind, always doing stuff for her children, and I do miss her, and I don't want to cry because I do miss her, but if you still have your mother living, treat her very well today. Just shower her with blessings and your love, and because you never know when someday they won't be here. And if you are a mother, I pray that your children bless you today, and that they celebrate this Mother's Day with you, and they just take care of you, and that you have a wonderful day. Drop me a comment and let me know what your plans are for Mother's Day, or what, you'll probably see this after Mother's Day, but what you did, and what you got for Mother's Day, or just whatever, and that would be wonderful. I'm going to get my whisk out here. Okay, now you usually use, when you're making a roux, you use the same amount of flour as you do your fat. So I got about 3 tablespoons of fat in here, maybe a little bit more. So I'm just going to go in with about 3 tablespoons of flour. And you're just going to whisk that together. You're going to let that cook just a little bit to get that flour taste out of there. I think I'm going to go in with just a little bit more flour. I think I put just a little bit more than 3 tablespoons of grease in. But anyway, since I'm using bacon grease, this gravy will have a really good flavor. I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper my roux. Get the salt and pepper back here. Go ahead and put pretty healthy. And I use the pink Himalayan salt. It has minerals and stuff in it that your body needs. And so iodized salt, that iodine that they put in there, if there was any minerals in the salt, it kind of strips them out, and it strips them out of your body too. So now you can see that my roux has gotten a little bit on the dark brown, like the brown side, and that's what you want. It's not too dark, but if you leave it sit there too long, it will start getting dark. I'm going to turn my burner down. I don't want it frying up there smoking too much. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more flour. That seems a little loose to me, so. I add a little bit at a time because you can add more, but you can't take it away. So if you got too much, then you have to add more grease, and you go back and forth adding. And okay, and I'm just going to start adding my milk. Probably need about 3 cups of milk, maybe a little more. And you just whisk the whole time that you're putting it in there. Otherwise, you're going to have a lumpy gravy. And we don't like lumpy gravy. Anyway, like I said, my milk's about to expire, so I wanted to use it up, and figured what better day to have biscuits and gravy than Mother's Day. We don't have them very often around here. So anyway, you just whisk. Keep whisking and stirring, and your gravy should thicken up. Like I said, you can always add, but you can't take away. And when you get done cooking your gravy, it should look a little bit thin, because as it cools down, it will thicken up even more. So if you get it too thick, you're going to have a real clumpy gravy. So anyway, you can see how smooth mine is. It has no lumps in it whatsoever, and that's what you want. Nobody likes lumpy gravy. Check my biscuits and see how they're doing. Yeah, they're rising good. It's important that you check your baking powder and make sure that you have one that's in date and that it's fresh, because if your baking powder is out of date, your biscuits and stuff are not going to rise like they're supposed to. It just won't activate. So that's why I bought a new one recently, because I knew I had had my other one around for a little while. So you can see my gravy starting to get some few little bubbles, and it's starting to thicken up just a little bit. So it's about done. Now, if you take it off the burner and it gets too thick afterwards, I'm going to take mine off the burner. If you have a gas stove, you don't really have to take it off the burner. I miss my gas stove that I had at my other house. But anyway, you can see that gravy, the consistency is nice and thick, but it's creamy. And if it should get way too thick after you take it off the burner and it sits for a little bit, you can always add a little bit more milk. That's no big deal. But anyway, so there's the gravy. And now we just got to wait for our biscuits. So I'm going to clean this mess up a little bit and be right back. Okay, guys, these biscuits are ready, and we're going to get them out of the oven here. I'm going to bring you along. Grab these out. Oh my goodness, they look so good. You see those? They're just light brown, golden brown on the top. Now the one in the middle didn't quite rise as good. It kind of leaned flop-sided, but it's still good and edible. And I reserved the 2 tablespoons of butter. Now a stick of butter is 8 tablespoons, and so I use 6 in my recipe, but I reserved these 2 tablespoons, and I'm just going to rub them on top there. Oh my goodness, these look so good. I can't wait to eat them. And then we'll just save the rest of that to put on them if we decide to eat them without gravy. So let me wipe my hand real quick. And I'm going to plate a couple of these up, guys. Let me get me something to get them out of the pan with here. They're just nice and golden brown on the bottom. Probably got them a little bit overdone, but they're still good. And you can see how easy they just split open there. I'm going to eat me 2 of them. Stir that gravy. You can see how thick that gravy got. Get me a spoon here. See how thick that gravy is? See, and it wasn't that thick when I took it off the burner. Like I said, if you let it sit a little bit, it will continue to thicken. Okay. Spread that over there real good. Sorry, I made a mess on my plate. So anyway, there you go, homemade biscuits and gravy. I'm going to get me a fork, or actually I have a spoon here. I'll just get a spoon. You're going to see they cut real easy, and a little bit of crispy on the bottom. That's what that bacon grease does, gets it a little bit of crispy on the bottom. And let me aim you up here real quick. Turn you around. Hey everybody, we're going to take a bite of these biscuits and gravy. Like I said, they cut real good. The gravy's nice and creamy, no lumps. And the biscuits are crunchy on the bottom, but tender in the middle. Oh God. Those biscuits are like heaven. I love that little, it's just a real light crunch on the bottom. And that creamy gravy, with a little bit of bacon flavor from the bacon grease we used. And guys, these are delicious. I will be sure to post that recipe for the biscuits and the gravy in the description box below. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day, or a wonderful day if you're not a mother and you're watching. Of course, this won't be posted on Mother's Day. But I hope you have a wonderful day. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm Sheila from Life on Turkey Lane. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and be blessed today. I'll see you next time. Bye.